Hello everyone, my name is Kendall Howarth. I am a computer science graduate from Cal Poly Pomona. I graduated in December of 2019, and this is my capstone project that I did for the Honors College. So it's a video game. This is the executable file for it. This is the result of my entire project. And my project wasn't research-based. I instead focused on improving my own skills in software engineering and game development. So for the format for this video, I'm going to show you the game first, then I'll give you a brief view of how I developed the game, and at the end I'm going to show you how you can download and play my game for yourself. So let's go ahead and start up the game. This is the main menu. We can start a new game, we can load a game, but we don't currently have any saves. We can view the controls, we can change the graphics, the resolution, or the windowed mode. I'm going to go ahead and start a new game. And I'm going to skip the lore for time's sake. And we're in. So this is Harvest Moon. It's a game focused about farming. It's a very peaceful game. We can move around using the arrow keys, and we can change our facing direction using the WASD keys. If we press escape, we can pause the game and view the controls at any time. Now if I press tab, I'll open up the inventory. We can see that I have 18 strawberry seeds and 1,000 gold. You don't normally spawn with this much gold, but I gave myself this much to show off all the game has to offer. So just by dragging and dropping, you can change the position of items in your inventory, or you can swap them. And if you hold shift and click, you'll place the item in the first available slot either in your inventory or your hotbar. This is very similar to Minecraft. So I'm going to go ahead and equip my hoe, and I can do this by clicking directly on the item I want to equip. I can hold shift and use the arrow keys. I can scroll on my mouse wheel, or I can press the numpad keys on my keyboard. So I'm going to select my hoe, and if I press the spacebar button, I can till the ground. Now this only works on arable land, and so if I try to do this over here on the grass, you can see that it won't work. So I'm going to equip my strawberry seeds, and I'm going to plant some. Now you can see in the lower right, my energy has dropped by the actions I've performed. You only have a certain amount of energy for each day, and if your energy bar ever drops to 0, you're unable to perform any more actions. So I'm going to equip my watering can, and I can water my crops. And if I hold space and release, I can water up to 9 crops at the same time. So to progress these crops, to make them grow further, we have to sleep. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the house. If I press E next to the bed, I will sleep. And you'll see my energy will replenish, and the day will advance to day 2. And we can also see that it's raining today, so rain is muffled indoors, but as soon as we step outdoors, it becomes slightly louder. And we can see that the crops that I watered the day before have progressed to the next phase of life. Now I don't have to water my crops today because it's raining, and so they're already watered for me. Now eventually, if you water your crops and progress the days enough, they'll become full grown, and they'll look something like this. So there's eggplants, turnips, and strawberries. So to harvest crops that are fully grown, we can press Q to pick them up, and we can press B to place them in our inventory. So I'm going to grab a few of them here. If we put them on our hotbar, we can see the number that we have as we're harvesting them. Now one thing that you might have noticed is that after we slept, there's now some wood and stone and weeds that have clogged our fields, and we're almost out of strawberry seeds as well. So let's go ahead and go into town, and we can purchase some tools that will help us clear our field and some more seeds so we can plant some more crops. So this is the shop. If I press E next to it, I'll access the shop menu, and we want to purchase a sickle, an axe, and a hammer. And if I decide at any time that I don't want one of these items, I can just subtract that item, and it gets removed from my shopping cart. But in this case I do want an axe, so I'm going to select an axe. And let's say we want as many eggplant seeds as we can get, so I'll click max on this. We can see that this current transaction will cost us 990 gold, and I started with 1,000. So if I press purchase, I can now see that those items ended up in my inventory and that gold was subtracted. Now by pressing tab or clicking on the sell tab, you can also switch. And here we can see that eggplants are worth 45 gold. And so if I want to sell all the eggplants that I have, I can do that too. And we can see that 90 gold was added to my inventory. So let's go back to town. Harvest Moon 2.0 features a full day-night cycle, and so as the evening comes on, the world becomes slightly more red, and that eventually fades into the black of night. So if I go ahead and put these items onto my hotbar, I can use my sickle to get rid of weeds, my axe to get rid of wood, and my hammer to get rid of stone. Now at this point I'm going to fast forward the video so that you can see how the colors change as time goes on throughout the day. So you can see it's now 10:30. When 11 p.m. hits, the player will be forced to sleep and go to bed. So if I'm in the middle of performing an action, I can't move anymore, and the player performs this animation, and you wake up in bed the next day. Now the last thing I want to show about the game is the save system. So if I wanted to save my game, and even if I was in the middle of an action, I can hit escape. And when I go to quit, the game will tell me that I haven't made a new save, and I can start a new save. So I'll make a new save here. I'll call it test, and that'll take us to the main menu. Now if I want to load a game, I just click load game, and here my save appears. And when I load it, you can see that it's loaded up exactly how we were before, with all of our items in our inventory, how we left them. So now, if we go to quit, it'll tell us that we can override our current save, because it identifies that we do have a current save that we have. So now I want to show you a small preview of how I was able to make this game. So the game engine I used is called Godot, and Godot is very similar to Unity. Godot uses nodes to arrange everything, and so everything can be represented as a node within the game engine. So this is the player scene, and the player itself is a sprite, which is a node. The camera that follows the player is a node. The rain that falls on the player is a node. And even the crops the player picks up are nodes. Now nodes can have their properties set directly in the editor. So here I can see that this is the rain. I can turn emitting on. We can see that the rain is now falling on the player. Or you can do this through the script. So if I open up the script, this is the programming language that Godot uses. It's called GD script. It's very similar to Python. It's a Python-like programming language. Now in total, Harvest Moon 2.0 has 511 manually created nodes, and 28 of these nodes have custom programming scripts attached to them. There are a total of 1,613 lines of code in Harvest Moon. So now that I showed you a little bit about how I made the game, I want to show you how you can download and play it for yourself. So if you go to a web browser, and you go to this link up here, it'll be in the description, you can download my game for yourself. So there's some additional information here about Harvest Moon. You can view screenshots and inspiration for the game, development, planned features, and things like that. If you click on release here, it'll take you to the release version of the game. So you can download the zip file here, and that'll download the game for you. And it currently supports Mac, Windows, and Linux operating systems. I hope you enjoyed watching this video on my capstone project. There are a lot of features in Harvest Moon 2.0 that I didn't have time to show, so I encourage you to download the game and try it out for yourself. Thank you for watching.